Hello everyone, my name is Yamuna Selvakumaran. Today I'm here to share some knowledge about sentence pattern. So let's get started. So these are the overview of what we are going to learn today. First, we're going to learn about subject and predicate. Secondly, we're going to learn about what is S, V and O. Thirdly, about direct and indirect object. Finally, we're going to learn about what is complement. Okay, so subject and predicate. What is subject? Subject is what or whom the sentence is about. It can be a person, it can be about the place, it can be things, or it can be an animal. For example, Lisa is reading a book. So the subject here is Lisa. Okay, next is predicate. Predicate tells something about the subject. Predicate contains the verb and the object. So using the same example, Lisa is reading a book. So Lisa is the subject. We're going to tell something about the subject, which is reading a book. So is reading a book is the predicate. So for a side note, subject usually comes before the predicate in a sentence. However, in some sentence, the order of words can be changed. For example, what frightened Fleck? What frightened? Frightened is the verb. Predicate is something that contains verb. So what frightened would be the predicate and Fleck, which is the subject. So here is proven that the arrangement of subject and predicate can be vice versa sometimes. So these are some of the examples on subject and predicate. First, the people in the house are having a party. So the subject here is the people in the house and the predicate would be are having a party. You may ask, why can't the people would be the subject? In the house are having a party is the predicate. You see, what is the meaning of predicate? Predicate is something that tells about the subject. Predicate is something that tells something about the subject. So the subject here is the people in the house. We want to tell something about the subject, which is are having a party. So the predicate here is are having a party. So secondly, mom asked me to go to the store. So here we can clearly see that the mom would be the subject. Asked me to go to the store is the predicate. Third, Melanie's mother drove her to the doctor in Chicago. So the subject here is Melanie's mother and the predicate would be drove her to the doctor in Chicago. Finally, the students of Kennedy School watched the presentation by the jugglers. So the subject here is the students of Kennedy School. Predicate would be watch the presentation by the jugglers. So here I can conclude that subject is not a word like the people is the subject. Mom, Melanie's mother, it's not subject is not going that way. Subject can be a phrase like the students of Kennedy School, the people in the house. It's not contained only one word, right? So yeah. Now we're gonna look about what is S, V and O. S stands for subject, V stands for verb and O stands for object. First, S, subject. Subject speaks about something or somebody. It can be about anything, like I said before, it can be about the place, person, animal or thing in that particular subject. Verb. Next is verb. Verb is the word that expresses what that action is. To make it simple, verb is something that the subject is actually doing, right? So next is O, object. Whoever or whatever receives that action is object. We cannot have an object in a sentence without the verb being a transitive verb. Okay, what is transitive verb? Transitive verb is a verb that follows an object. Okay, how to know if that is the transitive verb is after a transitive verb there must be an object afterwards. If there is no object after the particular verb, that means that verb is not a transitive verb. For example, she is sleeping. Sleeping is the verb, but it is not the transitive verb because after the sleeping there is no object. She is sleeping, that's it, right? So for an example, Sarah is eating an orange. So here Sarah is the subject, is eating is the verb and an orange would be the object. Next is about direct and indirect object. What is object? Object is the part of the predicate in a sentence. It receives the action done by the subject, which is the verb. Okay, there are two types of object, which is direct and indirect. First, we look at the direct object. What is direct object? Direct object is a noun or noun phrase or pronoun that receives an action of the verb directly. Remember, it receives the verb directly. A sentence that have direct object may or may not have indirect object. Next is indirect object. What is indirect object? Indirect object is the noun or noun phrase or pronoun to whom or for whom the action is done. It answers the question at whom, to whom, for whom, and from whom. It also receives the action through the direct object. There can be no indirect object without a direct object. Remember, there can be no indirect object without having a direct object in that sentence. Okay, we look at some of the examples in the following slides to make it clear. So the examples are, first, the mother feed her child milk. Okay, remember, direct object is something that answers the question of what and whom. So the mother feed. What she feed? She feed milk. So the direct object here is milk. So how to determine the indirect object? Indirect object answers the question of to whom, for whom, from whom, and etc. So the mother feed milk. To whom she feed the milk? She feed the milk to her child. So the indirect object here is the child. Second, Ricky threw pebbles in the pond. So Ricky threw what he threw? He threw pebbles. So the direct object here is pebbles. Where he threw? He threw in the pond. So the indirect object is the pond. Third, Ravi received the parcel. Ravi received what he received? He received the parcel. So the direct object is parcel. There is no indirect object in the sentence. Next is, he passed a packet to Nikki. What he passed? He passed a packet. So the direct object is packet. To whom he passed the packet? To Nikki. So the indirect object is Nikki. Side note, indirect object may come before or after a direct object. For example, Tia gave the notes to me. Tia gave the notes to me. What she gave? The notes. So the direct object is the notes. To whom she gave the notes? To me. So the indirect object is to me. See the arrangement in the second sentence. Tia gave me the notes. So here, in this example, the indirect object is me, which proven can be appeared before and after the direct object. Okay, next we're going to look about complement. What is complement? Complement is a word, clause, or phrase that is needed to complete the given expression. Complement always follows the linking verb and do not follow the action verb. What is linking verb? Linking verb is the verb that links the subject and the complement. The examples of linking verb is, are, am, was, and etc. And do not follow action verb. Action verb is transitive verb. So we look at the example. Every morning is a gift. So every morning is the subject here. So the linking verb is the is and the complement is a gift. So second, the air smells so fresh. So the air is the subject. Smells act as the linking verb. So fresh is the complement. You can ask, smells is an action verb. How can you say it is the linking verb? See, in the side note, some of the verbs can act both as action verb and linking verb. Examples are grow, taste, smell, turn, look, stay, prove. There are a lot of other verbs that can act as both action verbs and linking verb. We'll take another example. Look, she looks beautiful. So she is the subject here. Looks would be the linking verb and beautiful would be the complement to the subject, right? There are two types of complement. First is subject complements and the other one is object complements. Let us look at the subject complement first. Subject complements. What is subject complements? Subject complements follows the linking verbs and the does not follow the action verbs. Subject complements give more information about the subject. Remember, subject complement, so it gives more information about the subject. Subject complements can be a noun, it can be an adjective, a single word, or a group of words that act like a noun or an adjective. So we look at the example here. He is a doctor. So he is the subject here. Is the linking verb. A doctor is the complement. Okay, remember, subject complement give more information about the subject. So the doctor is actually giving more information about the subject, which is he. And also doctor is a noun, right? Okay. Second is Mary looks so upset. Mary is the subject. Looks act as the linking verb. So upset is the subject complement, and also it is an adjective. Okay. Third is I am Malaysian. So I is the subject, am is the linking verb, and the Malaysian is the noun, and it gives more information about the subject, which is I. Okay. Finally, you are beautiful. You is the subject, are is the linking verb, and beautiful is the subject complements, and it act as an adjective. Okay. Next is object complements. What is object complements? Object complements follows the linking verbs as well. Object complements provide more information about the object. Remember, object complements provide more information about the object. So, while the object of the sentence receives the action of the verb, object complements can beef up or complement those objects. Object complements can also be a noun, an adjective, a single word, or a group of words that act like a noun or an adjective. So we look at the example here. He makes me very sad. So what is the object here? The object is me. He makes me. Me is the object. The complement is very sad, which gives more information about the object, which is me. Very sad is the complement. Second sentence. Darren found his son fast asleep under his blanket. Okay, Darren is the subject. Found is the verb. His son is the object. Okay. The complement is fast asleep under the blanket, which gives more information about his son. Okay. The final example. We appointed Barry as a treasurer. Okay. We is the subject. Appointed is the verb. They appointed Barry. So Barry is the object. As a treasurer. Treasurer gives more information about the object, which is he is a treasurer. Okay, clear? Last but not least, we look at the difference between the object and the complement. Okay, linking verb have complements. Remember, linking verb have complements, and action verbs are direct objects. Okay, after a linking verb, it must be a complement, and after an action verb, it must be a direct object. Next, an object will answer the question who or what in a reference to the verb, right? But a complement will provide greater detail about the subject or the object, depends. Okay. We differentiate through some examples here. So in the sentence, she ate the soup. So the soup is an object. It's answering the question of who or what is being eaten, right? As such, it's following an action verb and receiving the action of the verb ate. Okay. Next, in the sentence of she ran fast. The fast is the subject complement, right? Fast is the subject complement. It's not answering the question of who or what, and it's not receiving the action of the verb ran. Rather, it's providing more detail about the subject, which is she. I think now we know she is a fast runner. I hope this can clear a bit the difference between the object and the complement. So that's all from me. If you have any question, please do ask. Thank you so much for your kind attention.